In recent years, the integrity of democratic institutions globally has come under scrutiny, particularly regarding the influence of foreign powers on national elections. Canada, known for its stable democratic processes, is not immune to these challenges. A recent public inquiry into foreign interference in Canadian politics has provided crucial insights into the state of electoral integrity within the country. This inquiry, which spanned several months, culminated in a report that has significant implications for Canada's political landscape, especially in light of an impending federal election. Findings of the inquiry. The inquiry, led by a panel of experts and officials, concluded that there was no substantiated evidence of traitors within Canada's parliament engaging in collusion with foreign governments to undermine the electoral process. This finding serves as a crucial reassurance to citizens who may have feared that their democratic institutions were compromised at the highest levels. However, the report did not shy away from addressing the reality of foreign interference. It described attempts by foreign states, most notably China and Russia, to meddle in recent Canadian elections as troubling. Despite these attempts, the report emphasized that their overall impact was minimal. This distinction is essential, as it indicates that while the threats exist, they have not resulted in significant changes to election outcomes or the democratic framework of the country. The existential threat of disinformation. While the inquiry found limited direct interference, it raised alarm bells regarding the pervasive issue of disinformation. The report characterized disinformation as an existential threat to Canadian democracy. This statement underscores a growing concern among policymakers and scholars that misinformation campaigns can erode public trust, manipulate voter sentiment, and ultimately undermine the democratic process. In an age where digital platforms can spread information rapidly, the challenge of discerning truth from falsehood has become increasingly difficult. The inquiry highlighted the need for robust strategies to combat disinformation, emphasizing that it is not merely a political issue but a societal one, affecting all Canadians. Implications for future elections. The timing of the report is critical, as Canada is on the brink of a federal election, expected as early as this spring. The findings of the inquiry will likely shape the political discourse leading up to the election. Politicians, candidates, and parties will need to navigate the landscape of public perception regarding foreign influence and disinformation. Moreover, the government is now faced with the pressing task of implementing measures to safeguard the electoral process. This may include enhanced cybersecurity protocols, public awareness campaigns about disinformation, and stricter regulations on foreign entities attempting to influence Canadian politics. Government response and public trust. In response to the inquiry's findings, the Canadian government must take decisive action to restore and maintain public trust in democratic institutions. The report suggests that the government's previous efforts to address concerns about foreign interference have been piecemeal and underwhelming. This criticism highlights the importance of a coordinated and comprehensive strategy in tackling these issues. Public trust is a cornerstone of a functioning democracy. When citizens feel that their electoral processes are secure and free from external manipulation, their engagement in civic life increases. Conversely, perceptions of compromised integrity can lead to apathy, disillusionment, and voter disengagement. Moving forward. Recommendations from the inquiry. The inquiry's final report is not merely a summary of findings, but also a call to action. It is imperative for the Canadian government to prioritize the following. 1. Strengthening cybersecurity measures. Protecting electoral infrastructure from cyber threats should be a top priority. This includes securing voting systems, safeguarding data, and ensuring that election-related communications are protected from foreign interference. 2. Combating disinformation. Developing a national strategy to counter disinformation campaigns is essential. This could involve partnerships with technology companies to identify and mitigate false narratives and enhance digital literacy among the public. 3. Enhancing transparency. Transparency in political donations and lobbying activities can help mitigate the influence of foreign entities on Canadian politics. Strengthening regulations around these areas will contribute to a more robust democratic process. 4. Engaging with citizens. Public engagement initiatives can help rebuild trust. Educating citizens about the electoral process and the measures in place to protect it will empower them to participate actively in democracy. 5. Bipartisan cooperation. Addressing foreign interference requires a collaborative effort across political lines. A united front among political parties will send a strong message that Canada values its democratic integrity and is committed to protecting it. Conclusion. The findings of the Canadian public inquiry into foreign interference present a multifaceted challenge for the nation as it approaches a significant election year. While the lack of evidence regarding collusion within Parliament provides some reassurance, the acknowledgement of foreign attempts to influence elections and the existential threat posed by disinformation cannot be overlooked. As Canada moves forward, it must address these vulnerabilities with a proactive and unified approach. The health of its democracy depends on the ability of its institutions to adapt to evolving threats and to restore public confidence in the electoral process. By taking decisive action now, Canada can safeguard its democratic values and ensure that the voice of its citizens remains paramount in shaping the nation's future.